Hey, what's up guys? Jerome here from the Bonsai Supply, and today we're going to talk about the language of the leaves. So this is an American elm, and as you can see, it is not in the greatest health. I picked this tree up because I really like the trunk. It is like a twin trunk at the bottom here. It has a nice white base, and it has really nice taper all the way up to the top. However, the leaves tell a completely different story. The leaves tell us that the tree is not in its best optimum health. So now, before we come up with a course of action of how we can bring this tree back to its optimum health, we have to figure out, first of all, what is wrong with the tree today and what may have caused it to look like this. Alright, so the first thing that I notice when I look at this tree, I can see that there's a lot of brown dry leaves down here. They have fallen off in the last couple days, and when I've touched them, the leaves, they kind of break apart, so they're very dry, which tells me that the tree most likely was underwater. Now, as I keep looking at this tree, I see that there's some yellow leaves up further on the tree. We have some yellow leaves on this side of the tree, and it's kind of spread throughout the tree evenly. Now, yellow leaves can mean a lot of things, right? Yellow leaves can mean underwater, overwater. It can mean old leaves. It can mean the tree has white flies, or it can mean that it's fall, because this is an American elm. American elms turn their leaves to yellow in the fall. Now, let's eliminate a couple of those thoughts. So it's definitely not fall. I also know that it is not from overwatering, because when I look at the leaves, the tips are brown and crispy on the leaves. So they have kind of dried up. So I do know that it's definitely underwatered. And it also doesn't look like old leaves, because if it were to be old leaves, it would not be the entire tree. It would just be a couple leaves here and a couple leaves there. I also know that it's not white flies, because if it was white flies, the leaves would not be crinkled like that. So I can tell with confidence that this tree was underwater, right? Because the leaves are yellow and the tips are a little crinkly. So that tells me crinkly is dry, so when you touch it, it kind of just breaks apart. So I know that the tree was definitely underwater. Now, I've had the tree for about 2 weeks now, and I actually, even though it's in black potting soil, I have to water it every single day. And it is not even in full sun, and it dries out completely overnight, which tells me that the tree most likely is completely root bound, meaning that the entire pot is filled with roots, and it's probably so dense that the water cannot go all the way down, and that's why the leaves have most likely, that's why the leaves look like this, which comes from underwatering. So even if I stand here and water the tree a lot, the water doesn't have a chance to go all the way down to all of the roots, and therefore it cannot the tree cannot push the water throughout the tree evenly, and therefore we have these dried yellow leaves. Now, another thing that I see is I see some pale leaves, and the pale leaves, especially up here, they are very pale and they have a white vein in the center. And as you can see, that's up here. And that's on new growth as well, which tells me that the tree lacks of nutrients. So it doesn't have enough nutrients in the tree. So, which again can mean, because the tree is root bound, so when I do fertilize, all the nutrients cannot travel evenly throughout the tree, and therefore we have a nutrient deficiency up there. Which can be because either the tree was neglected in the nursery that I got it from, so maybe not enough water got there, and also maybe they did not fertilize it. So those are the two things that I can tell right off the bat. Or it was root bound and they did in fact fertilize and water it well, which kind of has the same response. Now, something to keep in mind too, I see that the tree has more burnt leaves on that side than on this side. And you can see it right in here. A lot of the leaves have fallen off here. Now, this can also mean that the tree may have been up against the side of a house, or like plastic siding, or like a greenhouse where too much heat got to that section. So if you have your trees too close to like a house wall, or too close to the ground of concrete, or anything like that where the sun can reflect off and then hit the tree, that could also be the cause of why that side is burnt more. So it could have been that there was something over there that reflected the heat. All right, so now that we have kind of determined that the tree was underwatered and it lacks of nutrients, I can also see that there's a lot of weeds down here in the pot. And the weeds, they usually take away the fertilizer from the tree. So we have to get rid of the weeds. That's the first thing that we're going to have to do. But besides that, we also have to come up with a course of action to bring this tree back to health, right? So now that we know that it was underwater, we have to start watering more. Maybe we take it out of full sun and give it just morning sun and afternoon shade. And in terms of the nutrient deficiency, we have to start to fertilize more. We have to keep a close eye on it. And if the new growth also does not come back vibrant green, what we can do is take a chopstick and make a couple channels in the soil where we can pour the fertilizer into, so that the fertilizer can go all the way down and fertilize the tree on a deeper level. So typically the first thing that I would do is go ahead and repot this tree. However, since this is a deciduous tree, I really don't have the luxury of being able to repot it right now. So I have to kind of wait until next spring. Now, one thing that I could do is I could take it out of this pot and just put it into a much bigger pot and fill it in with bonsai soil. And that's called a slip potting. And hopefully that will help for the tree to recover until next year, until I can do a proper repotting. But the first course of action that we're going to do here is to strip the entire tree, remove all the leaves. And the reason why we do that is because the tree is focusing so hard right now on trying to keep these leaves alive, and he's trying to fix all the crinkled leaves, trying to keep them alive, and he's spending a lot of energy on doing that. So we are going to help the tree along by removing all the leaves so that the tree can focus on producing new leaves instead. So let's go ahead and pull out the weeds. That's going to be the first step. Second step, we're going to go ahead and defoliate the entire tree. So let's get to work. So now that the tree is defoliated, you get to appreciate more the movement of the tree, and I really love this tree. I mean, it has a nice base, has a twin trunk coming out like typical deciduous tree. So this tree could be quite a specimen down the road. I really like this tree. So now that we have removed the leaves, one more important thing to do is to also clean up the dead leaves that are down here in the pot. And so these dead leaves, we're gonna toss them out. And the reason why you don't want to keep any dead leaves in your soil is because they also attract insects. And so the last thing that we want to do here is attract insects to this tree now that the tree is more on the weaker side. And now one good thing as well is, now that we have defoliated the tree, when a tree pushes back out new growth, and the growth comes out vibrant green and happy all over the tree, and then we know that we have cured whatever was going on with the tree, the underwatering, the nutrient deficiency. So we have cured that at that point, and we can with confidence move forward and continue training the tree. However, if the leaves come back deformed again, like you saw some of these, or the light pale green, then we know we have not fixed the problem just yet. So now I will not go ahead and fertilize this tree right now. I want to make sure that the tree has a chance to reset its system, redistribute the energy throughout the tree, and push out fully. Once the new growth has pushed out and has hardened, that's when I go ahead and start to fertilize. If I notice that, actually as I'm pushing here with my finger, I can tell that it's quite root bound. So what I'm going to do once the new foliage has fully pushed out and has hardened, I'm going to take a chopstick, jam it down into the soil like this, and this does a couple of things. Number one, this allows for more airflow to go down into the roots, which is what we need. And then I'm also going to fill these holes with a little bit of fertilizer so that the fertilizer can go all the way down and fertilize the tree evenly. And so now the next step that we're going to do here is actually trim the tree back, because we don't need this many branches this far out. So I am definitely going to keep the twin trunk. I'm going to keep most of the branches. I'm really just taking my concave cutters here, and I'm just kind of reducing all of this length, which will also give the tree a better chance to recover if it doesn't have to push out that far. So we're going to go ahead and just randomly, sort of, push back. And so as you can see, as I'm going through here and I'm just cutting back the branches, not really randomly, like I have some idea in mind, but I'm sort of cutting it back randomly because I want to have more growth in here, more branches as the tree recovers, and not out here. And so that's why all of these long branches here, I just cut them back. But today would definitely not be the right day to go ahead and style this tree. We just want to cut it back into shape and then let it recover. Tree has been trimmed back. You can really see its potential. This is going to be an awesome tree. So as I was cutting it back, I saw that on the trunk I have a lot of mildew. So I want to go ahead and use one of my favorite products to use. This is called Immunux by Spectracide. And I use this for my fungicide spray, or when I have a situation like this where I want to clean up the trunk. And so basically what I do here is I dilute 1 part of Immunux and about 10 parts of water. And then I use a brush and I start to clean the entire tree from the top all the way down with this solution. All right, so the brush that I'm using is just a regular fine brush. It's almost like a toothbrush, and I don't want to apply too much pressure. I just want to go ahead, dip my brush into the solution, and just start from the very top and just gently brush down. Alright, so now that I went ahead and rinsed off the solution, you can already tell on the trunk, what was covered in black before is now the actual trunk of the trunk color of the American elm is coming back to light. So it's now turning here light gray again. It's obviously still dark a little bit since I just rinsed it, but as I was washing it, you can see all of this dirt just running down the tree. And then I flooded the pot just to wash it all out the bottom. But as you can see, this has already improved the tree by a lot. So the next step, we're going to apply a systemic insecticide. And what the systemic insecticide does, now that the tree has no leaves, the tree will absorb it, and it will protect the tree from the inside, from any insect attacks or anything like that. And that's really something I apply every month to all of my trees, but especially some tree that's weak like this one, you really want to make sure that you apply it to. So this is just a little granular. The brand of this is called Bonide. Bonide comes in the smaller bottle, and which I recommend you get if you have maybe less than 15 trees, but if you have more than 15 trees, I recommend you get something called Merit 0.5. And don't worry about everything that I'm saying in this video. I do have a link below that I dropped where you can acquire all of these chemicals, like the Immunux that I use, as well as this, the Bonide or the Merit, whichever one you want to use. So what you want to do with this granular systemic, you just want to sprinkle it onto the soil surface, and you kind of want to apply it like you would season a steak. So don't apply too much. So just be very gentle about it. Don't apply too much at once. All right. Yeah, so with this stuff, less is absolutely more. And now what I'm gonna do, now that I've already watered the tree, and when I put it outside, I'm just gonna mist these granulars that I put on top. Don't water after you apply these granulars. Water before, apply these granulars, and then mist the tree. All right. So we removed the leaves to take the stress away from the tree. We trimmed it back so that the tree doesn't have to push out this far again, and we want to have more growth coming in here, because that's what I see the overall shape of the tree to end up being. We went ahead and we cleaned the tree with Immunox water solution, 1 part Immunox, 10 parts water, used a toothbrush, brushed all of the mildew off, and then washed the entire tree with water. And the last thing that we did is we applied this granular systemic. And now I'm going to take this tree and I'm going to pop it right back out into, I'm going to give it morning sun and afternoon shade. Just because the tree is a little bit on the weaker side, I'm going to keep it on a bench that's high off the ground so there's no heat reflecting from the bottom. I'm going to keep it away from any wall in the background that might reflect some heat. And then in about 2 weeks time, this tree will start to pop back. And so now this is a really good tip that I gave you today. I hope that you now understand how to read the tree, how to determine what the problem is, and how to go about solving the problem. And so actually this is a really cool tip. If you go to garden nurseries and they have trees or plants that look like this that are on the way out, you can even get a huge discount on material like this if you know how to bring it back. So it's just a little tip of the week that I wanted to share with you. Alright, so just a few weeks have passed, and as you can see, this American elm has come back and it is looking healthy as ever and is looking beautiful. So thank you so much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your week. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and I'll catch you guys next time. All right.